Welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. Today, we feature a young D2C brand called The Whole Truth, founded in 2019 by Shashank Mehta as the result of a personal fitness journey. The brand is carving a niche for itself with carefully constructed content and narrative driven marketing, something that's personally driven by Shashank himself. How does one build a loyal community and a D2C food brand in India? Let's find out as we get ready to melt with The Whole Truth's Shashank Mehta. Shashank Mehta, you've been appearing in many of your own brand campaigns, be it solo, be it one with the comedian Rohan Joshi. Why choose to be the face of your own brand?
First of all, thank you for having me. Uh, I don't think it was a choice of whether I should be the face or not. The question was who can deliver the message most authentically. We are not a product brand, we are a mission led brand. This mission of bringing 100% clean label, honest food to the country is my personal mission. And I felt that no one can deliver that message more authentically with more conviction than I can. That's why we did it. Later on, I realized that another big benefit of doing so is consumers, viewers take this as a signal of this fellow must really believe in it to put himself out there, because now you know that if we falter on our promise, this is the guy to catch. I think that's a very strong signal of intent, subliminally, that passes on to the consumers. So I think it was for these reasons that it was kind of a no-brainer for us, because also taking stars, we stand against this entire thing of, give me money and I will say whatever you want me to say about your brand. Right. So even if you see how we used Rohan, in fact, in a hero villain sort of a way, he was the villain in the ad. Right. So these are the reasons for which, like, it was like a no-brainer for us that this is the way for us to go.
Shashank, by this logic, every startup founder should be in their own ads, but they're not.
Yeah.
Only you are. You are amongst the very few who are. Explain that to us.
I think it starts with being mission driven. I would say 95% of the companies I see around me are, oh, we've made a great product, now let's sell it. We were not that. We started because we saw how big food had been selling half truths to consumers for ages. And we want to set food right. We believe it's such a fundamental thing. And, we are living busy, nuclear family, independent city lives where our dependence on packaged food has gone up so much. We deserve to have super clean packaged food available because we can't live with life without it anymore. Right. So we were born out of this mission, and hence I chose to be, the carrier of that message of the mission. I think it can only be done authentically when that's your starting point, and maybe that's why not everyone does it.
But wait a minute, you're not just in your own ads, you're also in the Razorpay ad recently. So are you a CEO model, content creator, influencer yourself, brand ambassador? Who are you?
I am all of that and none of that. I don't apply labels. Don't think of myself like that. Like the Razors of, like, first of all, don't have a PR agency, don't have a personal branding thing, none of it. The Razorpay guys called up and we've been their customers pretty much since their day one and like our month 6 or something. So we love the product. They called up saying that, hey, we got inspired by you and we want to make an ad in which we want to feature an authentic consumer rather than take a star. Right. And effectively, if you see that ad, it's a dramatized testimonial. Right. So I didn't charge a penny for it. I was the genuine consumer who was super happy. And Razorpay said that we want to cast you in the ad. Why don't you come tell other people how much you love the product? Mm-hmm. How could I say no? Right. So that's how it happened. It was very organic. There is no plan behind it. There's no personal.
There's no dramatic strategy for personal branding.
There is none.
And I didn't miss the fact that you said no PR team, no personal branding.
None.
So are you saying you spent no time on doing PR for your company, for yourself, or for your personal brand?
Absolutely. The only time we've done, like, hired a PR agency like for a month was around our last fundraise. Mm-hmm. I, for one, have not been able to see real value in spending a lot of time trying to do PR around the brand. I believe if you build a brand that has an insight which vibes with consumers, word of mouth happens, organic growth happens, and then PR comes to you rather than you having to go out. So we are actually very very caved in and personal as a team. We don't we don't have any paraphernalia around us to try and be out there
And
apart.
this is an ex-HUL guy talking.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's talk about your marketing team. How agile are you vis-a-vis content versus having a fixed strategy for your content?
So again, first of all, we don't have a marketing team; we have a content team. We believe again for mission-led brands, for brands who have a change we want to affect in the world, a message to say day in and day out. Content is marketing. That's how we approach content, right? And I lead it personally. That's the charter internally, that I have no one, for everything else, finance, supply chain, sales, I have senior leaders leading it. This I lead personally.
Okay.
Very small, very young, very, very agile team. We make, we run hand to mouth. Like it might sound like we have, months of plan, but we run hand to mouth on content every other day. We're making stuff and putting it out ourselves every other day. Even today, 70-80% of all the writing that you see on the brand is done by me. Because I really believe that this is my personal mission. And I don't know if you guys, like, maybe the viewers wouldn't know this, but the brand is born out of a blog that I used to write. That blog was called Fit. So pretty much the content on the brand is what I used to do on Fit. So it comes very naturally to me because I've gone through a personal journey of health and fitness where I discovered all the ways in which I was being marketed to. And now I made it my mission because, see, I was the problem, right? I was also a marketer. So I made it my mission to, educate consumers on how to see through the marketing riffraff and understand for themselves how to read nutrition labels, how to read ingredient lists, how to make sense of your food, in this ever more cluttered, ever more divergent world. How do you make sense of the most basic thing, that is food?
And your brand name is The Whole Truth. And I imagine that leaves very little wiggle room for a half truth or a slight lie.
Yeah.
Aren't you or your team tempted to slightly deviate from that mission sometimes? Maybe in the greater interest of the company, keeping yourself solvent?
Actually, it's precisely so that that urge doesn't win over us, that we kept the name as The Whole Truth and made a public commitment, right? Now, we've made the consumer the keeper of our conscience. And we made such a hard, bold promise. As you said, there is no wiggle room. And every time, even if we make a mistake, uh, consumers pointed out to us that, guys, seems like you've done a mistake here, correct it. Like, they are the ones who are being the vigilantes that we need, so that, over time, economic interest, I pass away, some happens, and we start losing our moral compass. We've now outsourced the job of keeping us honest. I think that's our biggest coup. It
And
makes
how do you listen to your consumers? How is it social listening? Is it organized? Is it informal?
We are a very young, super modern, digital oriented company, right? So we are listening all the time, right? On Insta DMs, on Twitter DMs, on Twitter threads, on Instagram comments, on LinkedIn, on email. It's so easy to reach us. And you'll be surprised by how much people reach out to us, even for positive stuff. I think one of the things that new age brands have done well, can pull off, is they make you feel as if there is a human being sitting behind this. So if I have a good thing or a bad thing to say, I can reach out to him or
Not an
her.
anonymous call center
Yeah, it's
or a
not
bot.
some big monolith that I'm going to bang my head against. It's this guy who I've seen on TV. So many people write to me directly because I think they feel that you've spoken to me in your ads, now I want to speak to you.
When you hire an agency, a digital agency or a content partner, what do you look for?
Another moment of disbelief, I guess, but we don't have any content agency. We do all the
Everything is all
content in
in-house?
house. Just never been able to be honest. So we have a packaging and brand design agency. They've been with us since day minus one. We have a few friends who help us with production, but all the strategizing, script writing, concept writing, caption writing for Instagram, all of that we do in house. Because again, just not being able to find anyone who vibes with the journey and the mission that we are on. And I don't blame them. Like, content agencies are in the job of, or, having 10 clients and being able to work and shift mindset for everyone. Uh, but we just believe it never works for us.
All of advertising is based on either selling a half truth or a prettified truth or at best selective truth telling. In fact, I think McCann Erickson's slogan was the truth well told, right? How are you upturning this whole advertising industry on its head and where is this going to lead you?
See, the way I think it, the advertising and marketing industry brought it upon themselves. For the past so many years, we kept taking a bit more leeway, a bit more leeway, a bit more leeway, and at some point of time, we crossed over from the truth well told to the truth half told. Uh, and strategically speaking, I think they just left the truth flank open. Now it is economically viable for a brand to come in and just say the naked truth, and that itself is such high differentiation, such high distinctiveness, that it sells my brand. So, and it's great for me because then I don't have to check my morals at the door, right? Like I can tell this truth and then sell the truth rather than tell the half truth and then sell some version of it.
Okay.
So I actually think consumers are responding brilliantly to, because I think consumers inherently know that marketeers don't tell them the truth. They already discount for that fact that Deepika Padukone does not use this 10 rupee soap to
We all
bathe
do
with,
it.
right? But when someone comes up and calls it out, saying that why are you being lied to? Why are you allowing this to yourselves, right? Because you don't know at what point of time the deviation from the truth went from benign to harmful, uh, and it's very tough for you to find out. The only way to bring it back is to pull the pendulum back to 100% honesty. Because if you're guessing 1%, you're guessing 100%.
So, what's the whole truth about healthy snacks? What exactly is a healthy snack?
I think that's the real question. I think the word healthy is the healthy food marketeer's biggest weapon, because no one knows what healthy is, right? Someone thinks it's keto, someone says it's vegan, someone says low cal, someone says low
Nature
fat,
identical flavoring
nature identical
substances.
flavor. Yeah, so because no one knows the definition, the marketer can sell you his or her definition. Every 5 years, a new definition comes up and you're sold that, right? So we believe that the only definition of healthy is clean. Food where you can recognize the ingredients, foods where you can pronounce the ingredients, food where you can see that this ingredient is available in my kitchen, right? Clean is timeless. And hence, the only thing we talk about, we never use the word healthy. We hate being called a healthy food company. We are a truth company. We will always tell you the truth about what's gone into
And
your
that
food.
distinction is important.
Yes.
You hate healthy, but you like truth. And you like
Yes.
clean, apparently.
Yeah,
Because
so
you use
clean
that word.
is for me the manifestation of truth in food. That only if I am 100% clean can I be 100% truthful about my ingredients, right? Otherwise, if I have fructooligosaccharides in my ingredient list, I can't declare it on the front of pack. You will slap me. But it's there. It's there at the back of pack. You don't slap me because you don't see it, right? So if I made the promise that I will put each and every ingredient on the front of pack, which is my truthfulness, I have to be 100% clean.
Okay. Almost every diet plan I see says avoid packaged foods, eat fresh foods.
Yeah.
So, is there a contradiction in creating packaged, clean, healthy, or health or good foods or wholesome foods?
I would agree with that. If possible, eat fresh food,
Okay.
right? I'm very happy if my company closes down and everyone gets to eat fresh food.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not the truth of modern day life.
Okay.
Can't do it. I think it's a false dichotomy, though, that packaged food cannot be clean, which is exactly why we started the company, because we discovered that the problem is no one's done it because no one has an incentive to do it. When all the big companies are still sitting on, like, chocolates in India, for example, is a 40% penetration.
And we're talking about how snacking has gone up during the pandemic,
Yeah,
but nobody's
pandemic.
asking what are the snacks that you ate. Everybody's
Absolutely.
celebrating the fact that snacking has gone up.
I think it comes down to economic incentives, right? So, chocolates, huge category, 15,000 crores a year category. It's just sitting at 40% penetration. So, the big guys in chocolate are still concentrating on how do we take penetration from 40 to 60 to 80 with the same product. No one is asking the question because there's no economic incentive to ask the question that, is this the product to be selling to everyone? Like, can you do a better product? I feel that no one's done 100% clean packaged food because no one's applied that lens to the world. And I would say that's our biggest advantage, because we just look at the world from a different lens.
Are you seeing other competitors follow your model?
The funny thing is, they do try and follow it, but they try and do 85% clean, 90% clean.
It's an all or nothing game.
I think so, because it's a game of trust. And even if there's a seed of doubt, you lose trust, right? There's nothing called 99% trust. You either have trust or you don't have trust. So the minute, 2 out of my 5 products in my portfolio are 100% clean, the question the consumer asks is, okay, what about the other 3? Why aren't you telling me about those? So it's all in. You can either do it fully or not. I don't think there is a middle path here.
Speaking of trust, people use advertising to build brand trust, and quite often food advertising uses substitutes. I've heard shaving cream is used instead of ice cream, engine oil is used instead of honey. In your view, should there be a ban or regulation on using non-food substances in food ads?
I think absolutely there should be not a ban, but a regulation on. It's exactly what we're discussing of. At what point does deviating from the truth become a lie or a half truth? Right? Because what's going to come out of my packet food photography, on packet photography, is the biggest example. There's always a star mark saying creative visualization, packet contents might not be the same. This started from cars and real estate, show flats in
With the likes of
this
New
doesn't
York
come with the
Vista and all.
flat, right? Or they will always show you the highest end car and say, oh, the chrome lining might not be there in the lower end variant. How did this happen to my food? I'm buying it because I can't see the thing inside. And on the outside, there are these 20 almonds flying and there's chocolate dripping. But when I open the packet of muesli, there are 2 pieces of almond there somewhere in a corner. The rest of it is oats. Right? So it is like, if I was to take a harsh stance, are there almonds in this? Yes. But is this the representation of that? No. So what is it? Is it a half truth? Is it a lie? Is it a truth? It's a very murky area.
Let's talk about Instagram. Your brand decided to first quit Instagram and then re-engage with Instagram. Tell us about both decisions.
Actually, we never quit. We always said that we're taking a break. And the reason for the break was, see, we are a brand which is built on Instagram. We were the fastest, I think, Indian brand to get to 100K followers like within a year, etc. So we love the platform. But in the last 1.5 years, the platform has been shifting its strategy from first, it's all about posts, to it's all about stories, to it's all about reels, to it, I don't know what happened, or beach mein IGTV, and now it's all about reels. And we realized that in our, every 6 months, in our attempt to adapt to a new way of storytelling, we were forgetting the story that we want to tell. We were just, racing to catch the algo, and in the process, we were losing ourselves, right? So it came to a point where I was not liking what we were putting out, but we were under this pressure that, Rose, you have to post something, and now it is reel, and now it is this, and now it is that. And I was like, wait, this is too much, and I'm unable to get out of it without taking a break. I like, just in life, right? Like, I need to step aside.
Detox break.
Yeah, I just need to see this from a distance, because I'm clear that what I'm putting out, I'm not proud of anymore. The way I used to be proud of like a year ago, right? So we always said that we're taking a break. And the minute we took the break, in 2 weeks, we realized that, listen, our roots are in long form content. We were born out of a blog. We fundamentally believe that the problem with health journalism is loss of context. 6 ways to get 8-pack abs, Alia Bhatt's fitness regime. It doesn't help anyone because there's no context to it. And to give context, I have to do longer form. I have to, give you a well-rounded piece. So let's go back to our roots. Okay, we won't get the reach of this platform. That's fine. And that's what we did. We came back. But now if you see our Insta feed, we only talk about the newsletter that we launched, which is a long-form newsletter. And we only promote that, saying that here's a snippet from the newsletter, but if you like what you read, go back and read the entire...
And consumers actually read newsletters?
I think it's a slow burn.
The habit that needs to be inculcated?
Some do, but I think there's never been a better time than now to grow a newsletter, to grow a long-form podcast. I actually think this entire thing of attention spans are shortening is a misnomer.
I agree.
Right? Because we are watching longer and longer podcasts. When a season drops of a series, we watch it in one go over 10 hours. So if you make... Actually, it's just that consumers' expectation of quality has risen dramatically ever since OTT happened. But if you give me high-quality content, I will give you 10 hours of my time, but you better be worth it. If you're not, I have 10 other things to jump to, right? And I will decide within a minute.
Now, speaking of attention spans, of course, Instagram has gone all reels and videos. Now, in this war of D2C brands, it seems the only real winner are the platforms like Instagram. They make money either way. Whether you do well or not, they make money. It's somewhat akin to the gold rush when the guy who sold spades and shovels made money, right?
Yeah.
Does this bother you that so many D2C brands rely on so few platforms?
Yes, of course. I think we need to, all of us need to, in some small way, start owning our own audience. The middle, first of all, the house is winning too much. The middleman is taking away all the value. And be the middleman, his own, incentives keep shifting. I have no trust on where I'm not fine basing my entire strategy on the whims and fancies of someone sitting in Silicon Valley, right? So I want to own my own audience. It's tough because of just the clout
Correct.
that these
These
guys have,
platforms
right? But all of us are on their platforms only, so it's a tough battle, but I think it's a battle worth fighting of
And
building
with
your
what's
own.
going on with Twitter, the battle is getting not only tough but a bit surreal as well.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Let's talk about a boring challenge: physical retail and penetration. What is the whole truth about the penetration of markets?
I think for food brands, you're kidding yourself if you think that in India you will scale a food brand without going deep into physical retail. 95% of the market still sits offline, especially post the pandemic opening up. It's all gone back to the way it used to be. And it's again obvious from consumer behavior, right? Like, unlike personal care where you can see a packet of cream getting empty and you order it and it comes after 3 days and you're fine because you will keep squeezing it and use it. Food is, I sat down to drink my chai and my biscuit packet, I was on the last biscuit. I'm like, I need my biscuit. So you either send someone downstairs or call up the local kirana guy and ask for it right now, right? So food is immediate, food is fresh, food is, I want it right now. And that can only happen through physical retail. And now I would say quick commerce is, so your Swiggy, Instamart,
Zepto
and
and all
Zeptos of the world are really disrupting this for food. But physical retail is not going anywhere. And the whole truth is that if you want to, build a large food brand in India, you cannot not be a retail powerhouse company. Without that muscle, you can't scale.
Speaking of muscle, Shashank, you're a pretty fit guy yourself. How much do you snack and what do you eat?
Uh, how much do I snack? I would say maybe 15-20% of my meals would be out of a packet. 80% would still be fresh meals, either ordered in or
made
cooked at home.
Yeah.
I love eating. I used to be fat for good reason. Like, I love, indulging in food. I love exploring food. I love eating great food, etc. So my hack is just to be vigilant at most times so that I can be not vigilant at other times, and to exercise so that I get to do what I want to do.
All right, Shashank Mehta of The Whole Truth, thank you for talking to us at Melt.
Pleasure's all mine.
That's a wrap on this episode. You can follow Melt on social media. The handle is Ready to Melt, or simply log on to readytomelt.com. If you'd like to follow me, I'm @Suvenk on Twitter. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.